All right. All right, we're live. Howdy. I got cards like I'm doing readings. I'm not, but this is our subject for today. So hopefully everybody's all right, especially if you're there in Kansas. Shout outs, thoughts, and prayers, and all that good stuff for those in Kansas. I just read an article too from Kansas that there's a place called Shawnee, Kansas, that is trying to stop people. Actually, they're going to stop people in a certain zone from being roommates. I don't know how you authorize such a thing or police such a thing, but you can't be roommates there in that zone. But anyhow, they had nothing to do with what we're doing.
Wait, don't. Just,
is this like a biblical thing or no?
No, it's a house zoning thing to where what's happening is people are 3 and 4
sharing houses.
It's 4 or more is what they said in the thing. 4 more people will rent a house because it's cheaper for that many people to share a house, but they can't do it if they're not related.
What?
Yeah.
No.
If 3 people out of the 4 are related, that one person screws up the whole thing.
No. If everybody's got the money and everybody's got, can sign on the dotted line, then you should be able to live with.
In particular zone, you have to be related if you're going to have 4 more.
Wow, they can be. Okay, I just can't even go there. Okay.
Deborah said that bill went through. Yes, that's what I read. I said that. No, Manasa, not like that. But I mean, hey, how you gonna tell me we ain't related? I mean,
Lindsey Graham and his ladybugs.
Let me hush. Okay. So what we're talking about today, though, is readings from a personal aspect. Tarot from a personal aspect, I shall say. But before we begin, let us start with a little housekeeping or house cleaning, as what's the child name? Alexis always says. So, Red Lentil Healing, do you have any housekeeping?
I do. Dirty house, somebody can come clean. From a tarot and YouTube perspective, this Thursday I will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Please pray for me that I can stay up that late. And going live with Katie Moonchild on her channel. So please like and subscribe. Go over to KD. On Saturday morning, we will be at 12 noon, 9 Pacific time. We'll be live with Manasa.
With who?
Manasa. This
Oh.
beautiful Shining Hawk Healing will also be on the chat. We are doing tarot living with Manasa. Thank you. Go please subscribe. Wonderful, wonderful human being. Conversation about mothers and motherhood and the divine feminine will be Saturday morning, again, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific time. And then join me again Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern for our Gemini horoscopes. We're going to roast and toast Johnny and his brethren. So join us Saturday night at 7. In the meantime, if you want to buy products or book a reading, go to redmentalhealing.com.
The way of positive change. Do you have anything coming up?
Well, I'm going to be with you tonight at your 8 p.m. tarot readings with Becca and Jen Lynn, and I'm with all of you now. Then tomorrow I'm going to be on the new channel Circle of Friends, which is run by Allie from Heart and Soul and Kelly from Dozen Cats for Me. And that will be at 6 p.m. Eastern. Then the following week I'll be with Denise from Spiritual Growth Tarot on Monday. And I think that's at 4 p.m. Eastern. But I'll put all that on the community page. And if you'd like to schedule a reading with me, you can go to thewayofpositivechange.com and book your own reading. Hi, Jen Lynn.
Shining Hawk Healing, is the dog quiet? What you got going on?
I am going to be with Manasa and also with, now Adrian is down here with Adrian. I've put up some of the my cards on my website so that if you want to get a little sneak peek You can see what some of them look like. If you want to order, you can order pre-order. It says back order, but if you order, it will be a pre-order. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be on Friday. We do Friday with friends, and then I think I forgot some stuff.
Talk about the prayer tree.
Oh, so I just finished the first video that I'm going to put out this evening on the prayer tree. I have one prayer that sort of, touched me really personally. And I'm going to read that prayer and show everyone how the prayer videos are going to be set up. So this will be an example of what they look like. So if you want to submit a prayer for the prayer tree, I'm trying to cover the tree with prayers so that we can just get a concentrated energy stream going to get some peace in this world today.
Amen.
So that's what I'm doing.
And if you have a prayer out there, especially one that you've altered yourself, send it to Tony.
Send it and leave it under the video of either the tree wrap, or you can leave it under the video that I'm going to put out tonight. So we're accepting prayers for peace. So please leave a prayer if you are so moved.
And tonight we'll be live on my channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will do, I think, another giveaway, actually, because I just got a deck for free from the people at DeBride. So I'll probably give that away tonight if I remember. If not, we'll just, give me an excuse to do a live stream, I guess. And if you want to schedule a reading, go to TarotsApprentice@gmail.com and we'll go back and forth on that. So today, I want to talk about, especially, okay, first off, let me give a slight here testimony. Well, testimony to everybody here. Now, I have not gotten a reading with Lori. However, there is two people that go back and forth between us two, and they have nothing but glowing things to say about their reading with Lori, especially one of them who she recommended a certain stone for them, and it said it completely changed everything. So fabulous, fantastic testimonies for all of them here. I've gotten readings from Tony and Adrian, and so I do recommend them both also, because we're going to talk about today basically what tarot is to us. And so your personal reading will always be more accurate than this political stuff and the non-political stuff, because we're not connected to those people's energy. We're basically throwing cards in the dark and see what happens. So, and your life is a little less hectic than, maybe a court hearing for who and all that type of stuff. So the first question that I had was, and we'll start with Tony. Is this sacred to you? Cards and tarot and...
I wouldn't say sacred. I use the tarot as a tool, like a wand or the tool that I use in Reiki, any of the the crystals or all of. I treat them with reverence, with care, but I don't consider them sacred necessarily, because they are merely a tool, and I save that sort of distinction for something bigger, bigger than tarot.
There are like the Bible and the Torah and the Quran and that type of stuff. There is something people draw spiritual wisdom from, and they hold it sacred. So I come to you, Adrian. Mm-hmm. Is this sacred to you?
That's I'm kind of, the answers I get, I hold with high esteem. And the work that I do with the tarot, I hold in high esteem, because I feel like that is, I don't ever want to diminish that. But also at the same token, kind of like Tony, when you were describing how it was for you, I visualized my kitchen, and I was like, I have a kitchen caddy, and I have a spatula, and I've got a drainy spoon. I've got one of those little spaghetti spoons, right? The kind that purposely just get the noodles out. I can't flip a pancake with the spaghetti strings. It just doesn't work, right? So it's like tarot is a specific tool that I use for specific meanings that I hold at a high esteem. But is it like the end all be all? It's an important tool, but it's not, I guess, the spatula of my spiritual toolkit, if you will.
And I forgot the disclaimer that these are our opinions and they're not meant to wash over anything that it is that you do or believe. This is just something we believe. You keep doing you and we're going to do us. Lori, is this sacred to you?
I don't think I can top Adrian's spatula. Think I can do it. Well, I'm trying to go after that sacred knowledge, but I'm right up there with, I take care of my decks, and I feel very special with it. But is it actually sacred like God's word? No, but it to me. I think some of the symbology is sacred. So that's really a hard question for me to answer.
I feel the same way.
Not as sacred as God's word for me, but held in, did you say high esteem, Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I go with that, and then I'll up her spatula with a salad fork.
Listen, a good salad fork. Well, you can eat cereal with a good salad fork. You can eat a salad. You can eat pasta. You don't always need a dinner fork. A good sturdy salad fork. I felt that in my spirit, Lori. That was
Sacred words.
Mm-hmm.
So when I worked in I think it was a dollar store, my first job back in 1510, and we had some Bibles that were clearanced, and I took them, and the stores that have the shopping carts and they're full of just junk. I put them in there because they were clearance with the rest of the stuff. And it was one lady was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to save you from hell." She was joking, but that's what she said. She said, "I got to get these out of here," and they were like $5 or something like that, because the Bible to some are sacred, and you shouldn't just pile it in with a bunch of clearance junk. And my mentality, and even I was steeped in the church at that time, and even then my mentality was my connection is sacred, not the book. Because I go to this example for this too. If you had a house fire and they all burned up, is your connection ruined? No, because this is ink and paper. You can replace this. I have 300 examples of how you can do so. So you can replace this. So my connection is what I hold sacred. This is my key to unlock whatever it is I need to know. And so it's useful, but just like your hammer in your tool shed is not sacred, it is still useful. And you should take care of it. Me, not so much. I mean, because I have 300. If one tears and rips, I'll be all right. So I do want to go to, how do you all feel? We'll start with you, Lori, since you've been doing this longer than us. How do you feel about charging or bartering for readings?
I think it's a great idea, and I think an exchange of energy is, well, it isn't necessary, but it's, a way of showing gratitude, and it makes it, there is a worth. There's you're giving a service, and so it's good to either trade, send me cookies. I'll take some mac and cheese like Adrian. I'm just kidding.
That is some work. Now that
$48.50
$48.50 a plate if she gonna make it.
set your sights a
So
little
I
higher.
think the exchange is really, and I think it goes way back in almost every civilization that, a trade is good. A trade for the exchange of energy is good juju. Yeah.
Tony, what do you think?
I agree. I think, well, in shamanic work or in any work that you do, energy work out in nature, then there is an exchange. If you take something from nature, it's always a good idea and a good ritual and a good practice to leave something, cornmeal or tobacco or some sort of offering to, to the tree or the mother earth or in some way, to show that, this is a reciprocal thing. This is it's a circle. It goes both ways. It goes around, around, around. So I think that it's a good idea, even though when I first started this, I was very, very hesitant to charge for readings because I just felt, I don't know what I felt. I just felt, I didn't feel like I don't know, maybe I wasn't worthy, or I don't know what that was all about. But now once you get into it and you see, and right now I'm not doing readings, and I will open them up soon, but I'm perfectly happy for, to barter with someone, not, for cash or whatever, but with crystals. I love crystals. So I love to barter for that kind of thing. But if whatever you can give, then give. And if the person that you're going to see is open to that, then, it's a wonderful exchange.
Now, as another shaman, Adrian, how do you feel about that?
I do. Especially with other readers, and because I'm not about to sit on Beyonce and Al Gore's internet and tell a lie and say I'm against it, because all three of y'all would look at me like I was lying, because I am pretty sure I have bartered services with all of you. Absolutely, especially between energy workers. Anybody else who reads, I'm gonna ditto everything that Lori and Tony just said.
I say it is a skill, it is a talent, and it is work. If you read tarot out there in the world, or if you're just learning and you do a reading for somebody else, you will find out that it is work. When I was teaching the class, it was very interesting. We had an exercise once where I said, okay, everybody do a general reading for me. And they were all tired by the end of it. Every single because a general reading is very hard, because what do you pinpoint on? You're not asking me anything. And it's like, okay, you got these three cards. I don't know what they mean, though. I don't need, tell me what it says. And I asked Spirit many times over what it is I should do, and I always get this card. So unless he wants me to be, a cross-dresser or something, it's always saying that you need to be a psychic. And so it's like, when I started, I didn't want to charge because I didn't want it to be work. And then somebody gave me the duh and said, well, don't do it every day. And I'm like, oh yeah, do it when you want to, like have your regular job and then do this on the side or something. But whatever it is you do, it is a skill, it is a talent, and it is actual work. Pulling at somebody's energy to find answers to their questions, especially when their questions are complicated or have a sad energy to it. Everything in the life is not pretty. So sometimes people bring you stuff that, these 78 cars will pull it out and you have to deliver that message. So that is work. So if somebody's charging for it, I say you go right ahead. You deserve to.
I want to piggyback something that Manasa and Jen Lynn are saying. And they're like, Jen, of course, Jen says it this way. Cookies don't pay the mortgage.
Yeah, she's picking on me. I make cookies, but she's right.
They don't. And I think the distinction I said amongst other readers, barter, absolutely. But like to your point, Johnny, that's hard work. And anybody who wants to read for read sake and have clients, make sure you're not underselling. And also don't ask another reader if their prices are their prices. That's what they're pricing.
Mhm. And again, Jen Lynn Tarrant, the House of Lenormand, Lori, Tony, Adrian. I've gotten readings from all of them. And so I recommend those people, Lena and Sienna as well. Everybody else I don't know because I've never interacted, but those people for sure. Absolutely. Now, personal question for you. Oh, not that we changed, but personal question. If you could leave this arena, this tarot spiritual work arena with no regrets, no backlash, no none of that, just I'm done, would you do it, Adrian?
Me first. Would I? Yeah, because that means it was a season. Because it doesn't take away the fact that I still am a shaman in the gifts that I have. How I interpret your question is walk away from the YouTube arena and from that's how I interpret it. So
all of it, like
oh.
all of the spiritual work periods. If you could just leave it and have no backlash, no guilt, no nothing, would you just give it up?
I don't think so, only because I think it's in my contract. And so I think if I don't fulfill the contract, that would be some real FS happening in my life. So I want to keep the spirits and the spiritual council very pleased.
Okay. Tony, would you give it all up?
No, not all of it. I could give up YouTube in a minute, in a hot New York minute to walk away. And, I've already walked away from monetization. I just don't care about it anymore. I don't care. But I don't think I could stop being who I am, because this is really a part of who I am. And this is sort of where I've been drawn to my whole life. So to turn my back on it at this point, at this age, I just don't think that. I think it's just, I feel like I'm just really getting started.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm finally in a place where I feel myself, but I don't feel that I've gotten everything from it that I want or need to get or am supposed to get. So I'm still learning. I'm still, growing. I'm still moving through it. I don't think I can give it up at this point, but this YouTube stuff, yeah, I could give that up. I could walk away from that.
Lori, could you give it up?
Oh, did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're having a really bad storm. I just had to save my cat because I forgot she was outside. But she was on the porch. So, I mean, that's covered, but she acted like she was dying. And I'm sure my neighbors thought the cat is dying. But I worked so hard and so long and studied for so long to get into all of this magical study, and it's just I learn every day. I was reading books this morning, so after beach ball, but yeah. So I don't want to. I have no desire to walk away from any part of it.
I could, but I wouldn't. I could because I can't. I could because it becomes a pull, and I have a part of my personality that don't tell me what to do. But at the same time, I like this. I like this whole arena. I like all of that. I like it, So it's not one of these things where I feel obligated. It's something I do because I like to do it, which is, YouTube is also one of those things I do because I like to do. It's fun. So no, I wouldn't, but staying on the subject of YouTube, my next question. There is a lot, and again, these are just our opinions. This is not an indictment upon whatever it is you do or believe, but there's a lot of videos on the YouTubeization about love and your love's coming to you, and I can draw your next husband if you send me $10, and there's a lot of emphasis on that because there's a lot of emphasis on that in society. Where's my next date type of thing. But at the same time, what I want to know from you all is, do you find these readings, since they're so centered upon when is my next person coming to me, do you find them disempowering to where now you don't have to try because somebody's going to give you the shortcut, or you need to be at the 7-Eleven on Thursday at 8 o'clock and he's going to bump into you and spill icy on your shoes and Harry met Sally. So do you find them disempowering, Tony?
I just, like attracts like, right? So if you love yourself, you are going to attract people who love you as well, who love themselves, and then you will attract people who love you too. So you can get sort of an idea that the person that they might fall in love with, maybe not, will come into the picture, but you can't say when, you can't say where, you can't say how, you just don't, there's no way to know because there's free will. And it just feels like, anybody who says that, you're going to meet your love on this date and this place and this, yes, maybe this is how you're going to meet them in this environment, but you don't know the exact day, time, and space. So it might be a little, I don't know, because I just don't think that you have to work so hard to meet the person that you're going to fall in love with. You just do. You don't have to try. It just happens. And, maybe somebody who has the ability to see forward like that can say, yes, it will happen, but you don't know when, you don't know how, you don't know why, you don't know, all of the little things that people really want to know. And it sort of takes the excitement out of it, because if you know when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, all that stuff, then where's the excitement and where's the I don't know, the magic?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Lori, what do you think?
Well, I understand where Tony's coming from and the law of attraction, and that works, and I'm all for that. And I totally agree. If you love yourself, your vibration's going to be way up here, and you're going to attract other people that are vibrating, way up here, and you're going to come, and you're not going to attract pond scum, thank God. But when I do a reading, I use the 12 houses of astrology, and our guides, your angel crew, your spirit crew is coming with you to have the reading. And usually I can see, if I'm doing the 12 house spread, I can see if someone's coming in the next year. I always ask my guides for the information in the wheel for the next year. So for 12 months. So if I'm reading for you in August, I'm from August of 2022 to August of 2023. And if the Two of Cups and the Lover's card comes up in the 7th house of Libra, which is relationships, and I'm like, oh, and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, there's a king here, or oh my God, there's a queen here, And but it's the same for if you get, yes. So I get excited about that, and of course, people that have readings, they ask about romance, they ask about money and health, and romance is like number 1 or number 2, usually. So I like it as long as they don't abuse me about it, or think that, they want to cast a spell or try to get an old lover back, or if they're all in that negative energy. I don't do any of that. But if they want to see someone's coming in, or if they are dating, Andy and Todd, and they want to know which one they have a better vibration with, or who's more in it to win it and claim it, and who's just having a good time, we can do that too. But that's just me.
Adrian, what do you think?
I'm going to give 2 answers because I have 2 interpretations of this question. The first one, it's interpreted very literally. Is it disempowering based off of the community? The tarot tube is how I interpret it. And I say, That's my answer, actually.
That's your answer?
Answer. And my answer to support that is everything that Tony and Lori just said. If you're getting if you want something that specific, but it's a general reading and a general audience, you got to take that with hella grains of salt. And unfortunately, right now, that is kind of what's popular on TarotTube. So you have to just be very judicious. If you want something specific, go to an actual reader. Go to Tony. Go to Lori to get a reading. Go to Johnny.
Go to you.
Whomever, to get that level of specificity, because you're just not going to get it. And it's wild that they're so popular. It's comical.
Yeah.
Do I find it disempowering as a reader? Absolutely not. I have actually seen, and I've done this many times and have told someone, you're going to meet a guy named Christian at school, and he met Christian at school, and they have been married for multiple years now. So I think you can do it.
She's better than me.
Yeah, I find
True story, by the way.
what Adrian said, to where if you're watching, because I just recently saw someone's video where they do the 12 signs thing, and they do, it's based on on love, and so they say they read you on this side and your partner on this side, but if you feel the roles reverse, feel free to reverse them. Like, that's very general, but do so. And somebody in the comments says, I'm a Libra and that did not resonate with me. Why do you need to leave such a comment? Okay, it didn't resonate with you. Go on to the next thing. Like, it's a general read for all Libras in the world. It might not be you this time. So I find it disempowering to the point to where if you are so dependent upon this to tell you what to do, then you have a deeper issue. There's 7 billion people on Earth. Say hi to one of them.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. Do you want to find love? Go outside somewhere. Unless you're going to date Amazon or the mailman, then those are the only 2 people coming by your house. So you have to leave the house, go somewhere, say hi to somebody. So I find it disempowering because you put all of your stock into somebody's interpretation of what's going on in your life. Now, that does not mean don't go get a love reading. That means go get it for some additional information. Okay, so I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. And that's how you might find, the new person in your life and all that type of stuff. This was actually on the top. And so go for the information. Don't go for the direction. Don't let that person doing the reading tell you what to do. They tell you what you can do. And so I find it a little disempowering because when I do love readings for people, a lot of times, not all the time, a lot of times I have to do it twice because the first one is telling me everything that you need to do for you. I find that so many times. It says this person needs to work on this, 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 and this. Okay, that's not what I asked. So let's ask again. And then we can get some other type of relationship. But you got some holes in your foundation, and you need to plug those in before you let somebody else stand there too, because it's all going to come crumbling down. So what I have to ask you now is, how do you handle a question that you don't want to answer in a personal reading, Lori?
Like what kind of question?
Whatever's up to you. If you don't want to answer a certain type of question, like, for instance, I do get this from time to time. When am I going to die?
Yeah. Okay.
So how do you answer a question you do not want to answer? How do you handle it?
So if someone asks me, I want to know about my father's health or something like that, I will explain that our guides and angels are not going to, show me the end of a life, because there are so many different portals or exit points. But they could show me that there's rest needed, or that a family gathering would be helpful at this time. So I'll answer that way. I'll put it to them, the answer sort of in a challenge. I'll look at what's the best way to handle this.
So when you get I won't say inappropriate, when you get a difficult question or a question that they want an answer to, but it's not something that you want to read on or that you even think that your guides are going to give you, you can rephrase.
I
And
would try to redirect, but
Mhm.
if I didn't feel comfortable about something, then I would just say that I don't feel comfortable asking that. If it's past where I could turn it or move it to the positive way, then I would say I don't feel comfortable. You're going to have to go somewhere else for that.
Adrian,
Mhm.
how would you handle that?
That's the only time I'm actually good at setting boundaries in readings. I will explain that that's not something that I typically read on, and I explain why. And the contracts and everything that I have set up, I will pull a Lori. What I will say is what I can do is X, Y, Z. Are you okay with that? Are you in agreement with that? And if not, then I will, and if they're adamant, then now this hasn't happened, but I have it in my terms and conditions, then I will offer a partial refund for whatever time allotted you. So if that answer was going to take 5 minutes, then you'll get 5 minutes worth of a refund, which roughly amounts to about $4.15. So you may as well just let me rephrase the question. And you have to have a processing fee with that $4.15. So 75. So
She took it all the way Wall Street.
I mean, it's a business. Luckily, I haven't had that. I've only had it happen a couple times.
Tony, how do you handle a difficult question you don't want to read on?
I just go, you know what? I'm not reading on that. I don't want to look at your death. I don't want to look at anybody's death. I don't, that's not something that I'm interested in reading on. And yeah, you just have to, I don't know. I tend to, when I first started, I was like going over the time, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, didn't matter. I could, spend 3 hours with somebody and just, going down the rabbit hole with them, on anything that they want to, talk about. But I do draw the line at those kinds of questions because I don't want to know. I don't want to know what mine looks like. I certainly don't want to know what yours looks like. So no. Mm-mm.
I read on it. I read on the people ask, when am I going to die? I said, I don't know. The cards aren't going to tell me, but I'm going to throw some cards anyway. That way, this is what I got. This is what I got. This is what I got. It didn't tell me. Now, what you can then go do is go Google that card. What does it mean? And so if you don't believe what I just said, as I say, I didn't make it up, look it up. Go Google it. See what it means. Did that tell you when you were going to die? So I can't with that question, but I do answer it because I can't answer it. So I am very comfortable with my shortcomings, especially finding missing people or finding missing anything. I can't do that. Pets, items, people. I'm not the missing person's person. So I will tell you that for sure. I can't find missing people. What I can do maybe is a reading on their well-being to see if they're all right or something like that. But I can't tell you where they are. That's just not something I can do. I'm not
It's just so hard with those kinds of things because missing people, and that's just brings up so much emotion. And I just don't want to touch that because if I'm wrong, then I would feel horrible.
I'm a robot, so it's
Dead on the inside.
I pull the cards and I tell you what they say. I don't put myself in your life because if your life is effed up, it's going to be effed up after this reading too. And so I can't then take your MG and sit in it. It's like, here's your reading. This is what the cards say. I channel the message. I give it to you. It's up to you now. Have a nice day. But don't be a jerk about it. But so our last question, though, piggyback on what you just said, Tony, and we'll start with you then. How do you keep, or do you believe you need to keep your personal experiences out of a person's personal reading?
Oh, wow. That is a tricky question. Wow. I don't know because I the things that come up for me are always things that I am sort of like familiar with. And when, like pictures come into my head or songs or whatever, it's all based on my own experience. So any answers that I have kind of are morphed through that filter, kind of, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like there's always a part of the reader in the reading somehow, because that's where the messages are coming through. So it gets kind of like when you have a filter and little pieces of the filter get caught in whatever liquid that you're doing, working with. I think that I don't know. I think that that's what happens for me anyway. I do see some of my personal stuff come through, even if I don't say it to the person who's getting the reading, I feel it, in me, that something personal has come up. So I don't know.
Thank you, Kotos. Adrian, how do you keep it out, or do you keep it out, or do you believe you need to?
You have to have a boundary, because they are paying to get a reading from you about their life. I will only add personal, people who've read me know, I will add a personal story or anecdote if it helps to draw an emotional line, so they don't feel, if they're feeling low or there's something completely complex that they're going through, and I have either my experience or somebody I know, I will kind of use it as a leveling ground. But I have had healers and readers work on me where most of it was about them, and I've gone through this before, and I'm just like, I'm paying you to tell me you work on me. I did not come to you to hear about you. I could care, really, at this point in my life, I just paid you however many hundreds of dollars. I could care 4 rats' butts about in 1972 when you were butt naked howling at the moon talking to your spirit guides. That has nothing to do with what I asked you about right now. So I understand, and I fight hard because I've been through that. So I'm like, there's a boundary I have to set. Only if it adds relevance or context to the story. But other than that, I'm pretty dead on the inside. It's about you. That's what you're paying for.
Lori, what do you think?
I totally agree with you, Adrian. I think we've all had that experience where we paid our hard-earned money for a reading and they just went on and on and on about themselves. But what were you going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, I don't talk about myself in the reading, but it just like when things come up like that.
Yeah. So you use it as an example.
But you're not reading about, girl, let me tell you about it in 1942. There's a distinction. I feel like you made a clear distinction.
Right. So when Tony said her experience, or when you're saying you're explaining it, Adrian, then it's the same thing for me. It's like, I only will bring something up if I can use it as a similar circumstance so that maybe they might be able to understand it better, and keep it very short and sweet.
Yes, that's my answer, because I have a story I share with everybody that asks a particular question, like about family. Should I reach out to blank? And I tell them before I even do the reading, the cards are going to say yes. Spirit is going to always want you to reach out and make amends. Always. Because all you need to do is get it off of you, and they can do whatever they want to with it, blah, blah, blah. And so 9 times out of 10, I'll do the reading and it'll say, yes, call your mother, father, whatever, and say whatever, even if you just shout and scream, but, try to make amends or whatever. And then I put the cards to the side and I say, the cards are going to tell you because Spirit wants you to try to make amends and heal some sort of situation. That's what they're going to always tell you. But from my own standpoint, people in your life do not get to abuse you just because they're your family. And so that's not what the card says. That's what I'm going to inject into this. It's like, because the cards are going to tell you because it answered your question, but I'm going to tell you what is going on in the earth realm because you still live here. And so they don't have permission to abuse you because they're related. I said, I cut off this person and this person because I can, because they don't have permission to behave the way they behave in my life. Behave that way over there, not over her. And so that's not what the cards say, but that's what I say. So it's up to you. And they just say, I was just curious. That's usually what
That's that down real quick.
never mind. Just do what you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what the cards say. Okay. That was it. That was fun.
That was good.
Thank y'all.
I sort of goofed up my answer about the YouTube land, the people that are doing general reads. Some of them are fun and entertaining, but I agree with what you guys said. I think I went off there. I think I was so involved.
We'll edit and do it again. What's your answer?
I don't. Everybody can't be put all in one basket, So take it with like you said, 85 grains of salt.
Yep.
But yeah, I do think if there are astrological planets that are conducive for love or more receptivity, something like that, then it can be for hopefully everybody, but not if you have a negative aspect in your natal chart. So there again, it's just an actual personal reading is going to benefit you much more than, but for fun, that's different.
Yeah.
And they are fun.
Yeah,
They're fun to watch. It's fun to see someone, their interpretations of the cards. It's fun to watch. It's fun to sort of play along and go, okay, I'm going to play along. I'll pick number 2. Okay. Even if it turns out it doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with you, it's still fun to do. So
it is. And I think like the astrology ones that you've done, Adrian, and I think those are really great.
That's because
and see, it's meant to be a generalization. And I think the problem, as they say, those who sort of debunk astrology, is the fault is not in the stars, it's in us type thing. At the same time, if you are looking to a person's general meaning, general reading for your personal truth, there's a problem there already. Don't look to the Libra and the Gemini and the Sagittarius reading like that's going to be you, because you got a Sagittarius moon or you got Sagittarius in the next door house and all these other houses. No, just what you need to do is go find that person's email and say, how much do you charge for a personal reading? Because that personal reading is going to be personal. It's not going to be generalized. So don't look to those general readings for a specific message. Sometimes they will be right on because you were in the right place at the right time. But even then, it's still general, because guess what? The person sitting next to you probably resonated with it too, and they're not even a Gemini. So it's general. Just take it grain of salt.
it's general. And when I was young, we didn't have all this. We had the newspaper, and then the horoscopes would be in the newspaper every day. And then you look at the newspaper, you go, oh, well, I better get I'm a Taurus, so I better get an umbrella because it's going to rain for me today. It was like that. It was like, okay, so this is my horoscope for today, and this is what you can take it seriously, or you can just be real about it and go,
You're going to have your own personal rain.
Yeah, I do actually have something to add to that, though, that you just made me think about something. Like everyone this past week, almost everyone that I read for was Cancer. And the week before that was mostly Capricorn and Aquarius. So I'll read. So it is very common for one specific sign or another to be my primary sign for people that are requesting readings that week. So there's still some nuance there.
I'm gonna tell you what, though. Mark 6:51 p.m. on Sunday, May 1st. I have had 9 different astrologers, both personally, YouTube, TikToks, whatever, say that starting May 10th through like October, Libras was about to be on the come up. If any of y'all are wrong, I swear to God. And 19 chili cheese fries, I'm going to come and send all of you a strongly worded letter.
What are they saying is going to happen?
There's Libra, all the planets about to do something. So Libras, we're about to like this is from it starts May 10th. May 10th through
That's
like
pretty
October.
specific.
It's where the planets are. I know astrology.
That they're in the right place for the right blessings.
Everything is getting. It's just we about to like step in, and they said like Libras. Everybody's gonna hate Libras because we're gonna be feeling ourselves. Listen, if all of these 9 astrologers are wrong, I'm gonna be real salty because I've been waiting for this.
I need to get mine done again. I did a reading for myself. I do one every day, just for practice anyway. But I did a larger spread, like a tableau type thing. And I got all of these like upgrades to spirituality and your psychic ability, and you might find a new form of divination out there that you may be interested in. And I'm like, well, bring it on then. But this has been the theme since January. And I'm like, when? Like, where's the up? Do I need to plug something in that's not plugged in? What am I missing the update? Don't turn your computer off before the update is complete. Am I doing it wrong?
That's why I'm looking forward to this May 10th period. Ready for
And
this.
that is Mercury. That is the day Mercury goes retrograde
Again.
And Johnny this is Johnny's birth month.
Mhm.
It's his happy birthday month,
Yep.
right?
Oh, it is May.
My birth month too.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes,
happy
it is.
birthday.
Well, we about to roast y'all good and deep on Saturday night.
Us. Because I don't know. I was listening to somebody who was saying that May was going to be really like tumultuous for my sign. I guess the Taurians.
But again, don't fall victim to the generalization.
Don't fall victim.
Because there might be 1 or 2 Tauruses out there who is karma is spinning in the right direction and they about to get it.
Yeah.
Not the person making the prayer tree. Well, thank y'all for joining us, all 285 of y'all, for sitting and watch us yip yap. We will do this in another 2 weeks, and we have one last soul chat to do until I come up with some more questions. You know how I do them. But we will be live again in 1 hour's time. I'm gonna go eat a snick and a snack, and so my stomach don't make more noise than my cars do.
Okay.
Been there.
We will see y'all in just a little bit. Bye-bye.